stonemason trading hall has been kind of coming along. I haven't really decorated it much, but we've been trading with this Fletcher that I've kind of isolated from the rest of the group here. Been trading sticks with him in order to kind of get some emeralds. I haven't really been too successful with emeralds. It's pretty slow given that it's like 32 sticks for 1 emerald. I've been breaking down some bamboo that I have on the surface of the world, and I've been trading that with him. But process is extremely slow. And then over here, I have 2 villagers that I've isolated as well. I've been having them breed up. So it kind of gives this little segment of the build a little purpose over there. But I've been breeding them up and then moving them over here. But the process has been kind of slow because I've ran out of potatoes to give them. And I've been eating the potatoes myself. You know, I bake the potatoes and I eat that. That's basically my only food source at the moment. So there's only enough for, you know, a few of us. I haven't been able to trade too much, but I have been able to get myself some bricks for our upcoming next build. Eventually, I do want to kind of beautify this place up a little bit. I don't want to make it, you know, too complicated or anything like that, but we're gonna have it extend a little further and probably have a bit more stonemasons over here so that I can get that nice terracotta and all that. But for the meantime, you know, we're gonna just work with what we got. This is kind of slow. I still need to put some new detector rails over on the side there to boost myself. But one thing I wanted to do was to take down some of these torches and add some glow lichen so that we can kind of keep the ambience here a little dark. And this was recommended by one of our commenters, Amalia Frianare. Amalia Frianare. If I butchered your name, my apologies. She recommended to put some stone buttons or stone pressure plates or just some glow lichen around the area just to prevent the mob spawning. So I think we're gonna kind of incorporate her little idea right there and spawn proof some things. Alright, so we took down a few of the torches and kind of replaced it with a bunch of glow lichen. I think I might have put a few too many in certain spots, but I really didn't want to kind of get myself killed out here. So they are, oh, yeah, clearly did not do this properly. I'll have to come back and add some over there, clearly. But you know, the glow lichen and the darkness now is kind of nice. But that one right there is definitely concerning. Yeah, okay, we'll get that later, but the ambience in here now is, you know, a lot nicer. There are obviously these lanterns that I did want to light up this general area a little more than the others. So we'll keep those, but we'll come back and kind of put some glow lichen over in this area clearly. But for now, I think we're gonna kind of move on from this area for a little while, and we'll come back, you know, glow lichen it up a little more. But for now, we're gonna move on. So in between episodes, I was kind of mining for some iron, and I found about a stack of iron. But for the meantime, that's kind of enough, but we definitely need more. But I think in today's episode, we're gonna work on an iron farm so that we can get tons of iron, at least, you know, consistently, instead of having to go caving every single time. But I think we're going to do that in the main dwarven city, so let's head over there. Nothing quite like walking up to this dwarven city entrance here. Look at that cat boy dwarf. That is not lore. He's not a cat boy. But anyways, one thing I lost my donkey, Don Quixote. I must have, I don't know, I've been having this weird glitch where I'll like put the lead on a fence and then suddenly the lead would come off and then the donkey would come with me. yeah, I don't know. Something happened to him. I can't seem to find him. I'm sure he'll come up eventually, but for the meantime, I think I'm gonna have to get another horse or a donkey to replace him. Unfortunately, he had a chest on him, and I think he had a decent amount of supplies on him, so that is highly unfortunate, but I'm hoping I will eventually stumble upon him as I'm working along this area. Also, one thing that I forgot is I'm actually past day 1000. I'm actually on day 1035. Normally, I would say I would do like kind of a world tour. I thought I would do a world tour kind of every 500 days or so. But I don't know. The first video didn't really do too well, and I don't know. I think maybe 1000 days might be better, but I don't know. I could do one. Maybe I should. Or maybe I'll just do one when I hit my year, because right now I think I'm at kind of 8 months into this world. So it's only a few more months, and then we'll have a little more to show, hopefully. By the way, I'm trying to come up with a name for this city. So if you have any ideas or suggestions for a Dwarven Empire, please let me know in the comments down below. But coming again into the Dwarven City, we haven't really worked on the actual inside of the city for a while. And today I'm going to change that. So we're going to be working on kind of an iron factory. So I want to have an iron factory probably around like right here. Now, one thing is that since I'm in a cave, I kind of have to limit the size of this whole, you know, all the builds here. Because like this spot right here has a lot of height. So this way I can actually work with the height a little more. Over here, I wanted to have another build right here, but it's going to break this sight line right there. So when you come into the city, kind of see this beam of sunlight. And I want to hold that sunlight there because I'm thinking about adding kind of maybe a tree or a dwarven castle right around that area. And I want to make sure that when you come in, you're not losing that ambience. But before we really work on this iron farm, we do need to gather some resources. And I've kind of been playing around with my video editing style for a little while now. And, you know, when I first started off, I was doing this kind of very cinematic, slow-paced kind of form, and I think I kind of strayed away from that editing style a little bit more by kind of including these like montages that have like more upbeat music, and I like that. But I think what I want to do is I want to try to play around with the editing style once again, and we're gonna have kind of a cinematic montage gathering thing, but a lot slower pace. So it's not going to be kind of like that hardcore style gathering montage. So with that being said, let's do a little resource gathering montage, but a little more cinematic. Let's get it. So when I was brainstorming this build and kind of planning it out, one thing I realized was that building an iron farm in a cave is a horrible idea. Honestly, it's like really not productive at all. I tried to use, so I kind of played around with different designs. And one of the designs, I tried to use the EN Exo4's iron farm. That one's a little big, so it didn't really fit this area. And then on top of that, they were spawning all over these like dripstone pillars. And so with iron farms, you want a flat ground in order to kind of get some iron, you know, the iron golems to spawn in the correct spot. But since, you know, this is a very uneven cave and not a flat land, they're kind of spawning all over the place. So then I went to another iron farm and I think I tried like 3 or 4 different iron farms, and all of them kind of had them spawning outside. And so finally I found a YouTuber named Ajax Minecraft who makes aesthetic like iron farms. And so I'm gonna use his design as the base, but I change it up a lot, like a lot. And I think that one finally it worked. I just had to spawn proof a lot of the build in order to prevent the golems from spawning all over the place. But I think we're gonna work with that design. I said this previously, but I enjoy my builds to have kind of aesthetic and purpose a lot of the time. So I want to have this iron farm look good, kind of, or you know, look good in my eyes, my colorblind eyes, and then you know also be functioning. It's not gonna be the most efficient iron farm, I must say, but I think we're gonna work with that. But with that being said, we're gonna clear out this area a little bit to make some room for the iron farm, and we're gonna get started on this project. Only thing that's missing now is a sign, and I think we're gonna call it the iron. Hold on, skip a line. The Iron Core Foundry, or I don't know, the Iron Foundry. You can probably come up with a better name. So if you have any idea, leave it down in the comments down below. But let's take a step back and admire our work. Now, I didn't go, you know, too diesel punky. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Anyone else? No? Okay. We can look at the build. All right. So here we have it. The Iron Foundry, which you can't see. But yeah. So this is going to be our iron farm. I didn't go for too much of a kind of diesel punk vibe. I went a little more on the kind of medieval side. Honestly, I don't even know what I was really doing. So the main part of the building, this tower part, is the iron farm, which is from Ajax Minecraft. I haven't actually made the iron farm itself yet, but eventually we'll put it in there. And I did change it up a little bit just to match the generalized area. So I did change out all the spruce wood that he used and replace it with a bunch of like stone types to make it more factory-like. Oh wait, that's a thumbnail right there. I have my thumbnails a lot of times my thumbnails is like back of my character looking at the build. So yeah, so just a little insight on the thumbnail aspect. So for the factory, we wanted to have kind of a blend of, you know, the diesel punk vibe, but also the medieval side. So ends up being a little steampunky, and it is raining outside, so it's got some thunder. Adds a little ambience in here. So when I build, I oftentimes look at a bunch of reference images, and for this one, I actually didn't really look at too many of them. I did, you know, take elements from certain things, like I did add a smokestack, and then like this chimney, and then some steampunky kind of vibes, decorations kind of throughout the build. But for the most part, I kind of just winged this build. I'm honestly not even sure if the colors really work. The white definitely stands out a lot, and I did kind of not want to add this brown, right, like the spruce and the oak. I kind of wanted to make it a lot more, you know, this reddish brick color, because that's how you know it's industry. But it does add some depth when you add these kind of pillar supports, so we decided to just keep them and get on with it. But I imagine that a lot of the working class dwarves kind of come through the main street to kind of work in this iron foundry. So a lot of the iron that would be coming from the kind of dwarven quarry, dwarven mine area would be kind of trucked along over here through some wagons. So they bring the wagons over here, fill up all this iron. There's no iron slab, so we had to stick with granite. And then I also ran out of iron, so we had to use mud down here. Hopefully nobody notices, but you know, I just brought it out to everybody to see and criticize and tell me, hey, you didn't use full iron blocks. Well, too bad. So this little steampunky element to the whole build, I imagine, is a water pump that they use to kind of, you know, bring water into the factory and, you know, cool the iron that they make. And I imagine, since there are no, you know, standing bodies of water or moving bodies of water in a cave typically, although I might add kind of a waterfall through here, and I think it makes sense because the glaciers up there would melt and then there'd be a waterfall. But for a source of water for dwarves, I would imagine that they use underground aquifers, and funny enough, that's actually a thing in Minecraft. So it kind of works out lore-wise that they pump water out from a water aquifer down below, and they use that to kind of help work the iron foundry. But coming inside, we have the iron foundry. So the interior is, you know, not really built, but I did add some interior design at the moment. I'm obviously missing a wall right here that we'll have to kind of put some stuff in. Probably some of the diorite stuff just to match the walls. And then I had a chimney over here, so we're gonna have to turn this into kind of a furnace or just a chimney. I don't really see why they would have to keep warm in here, since there's gonna be these blazing, you know, iron forges right here. But for the interior, I'm thinking about like a conveyor belt going right here, and then I don't know, just some kind of random scattered anvils where they'd be kind of working on the processed iron that they make and kind of turning it into, you know, iron ingots for the other dwarves to work on and turn into like tools and other materials throughout the world where they can kind of export all those goods. Storage closet that, you know, nothing's in there yet. And then here we'll be able to watch the iron golems meet their demise. And so I still need to build the actual iron farm itself. So, well, this is the actual physical build. The next part of the whole build is adding the 3 villagers up top, and then also a zombie, which we've actually already acquired. This one got kind of wandered at me while I was in here, and he was holding something, so he's not going to despawn. So we're going to have to bring him all the way up there, which is going to be a major pain, but something that we got to do, get some passive iron. So I think we're going to go do that right now and get this iron farm working. All right, so we set up a little track system here leading right into the house. So now we're just gonna break free this zombie here, and hopefully nothing goes wrong, because, you know, I tend to die a lot. So just gotta let him out. Oh, out. Okay. Oh, already going poorly. So just gotta let him get up here. Come on, buddy. Out. Okay. Nope. Nope. Okay. Guess not. All right. Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind. There we go. All right. Almost died there again. All right, so now that we have him here, we can turn on the lever. And then we just gotta give him a nudge. Jeez. Almost took me out again. Oh, man. All right. I forgot to power this last rail here. See if I can get to it. Ow. No. No. Man. Oh, God. Oh. Well. That'll do it. The walk of shame. There we go. Finally. Jesus. Only killed myself a few times. Only just a handful. Not that many. Alright, so now the last thing we need to do in order to get this farm to start working is to get these beds. Huh. I thought I had a bunch more. Oh, there it is. The last thing we need is the beds right here, and then we need the villagers over here, and then this should be ready to spawn some golems. So the next order of business is grabbing a villager, which luckily we have a village right above the dwarven town, or the dwarven city. So we just put the gravel away, and then no mending. We yoink them, and then we're gonna doink them. And doink. Oh, hold on, stay where you are, buddy. Now we just gotta do that 3 more times. Jeez, dude. You ever thought about losing some weight? Oh, you say you're just big boned? I'm not really sure about that. You should probably think about losing some weight. And so in order to let the iron farm actually work, you have to let the villagers go to sleep first before they kind of get scared by the zombie perpetually. And I've noticed that eventually, like, the villagers will stop going to sleep for some reason. So you're gonna have to come back here and block the sight line again. So that's why we're gonna leave this spot right here a little clear so that we can come back over here and kind of do some maintenance if we need to. All right, so we slept the night away, and so now the only thing we should have to do now is to break these. Okay. And then we just need to break this, and we should be good to go. No, I do want that. I do want that, so there we go. All right. And now the iron golems should start spawning. Hopefully. You know what I haven't done though? I haven't actually spawn-proofed the entire area yet. So the... Ah, there you go. Iron golem burning. It's kind of mean to kind of just look at him like this. It's kind of comical. But first, before we kind of get too far, we really need to spawn-proof a lot of the dripstone in that area. Where is it? So we just need to come around here and kind of spawn-proof a bunch of this dripstone here so that iron golems aren't just spawning right here. Ah, see, there you go. One already spawned, so we're gonna have to kill that one manually, which is honestly quite concerning. Alright, well, looks like it's working like a charm. I've already had a few iron golems kind of spawn in random spots, so I have been trying to kind of I have been trying to spawn-proof some spots, like it was spawning right here. So I put a wall right here, and I think it should work now. There might be a few more spots that I'm missing, But yeah, looking pretty snazzy. But if you come up here, you can kind of come up to where they spawn. So here is the kind of a spawning chamber where they'll mostly just spawn right above the water right here. As long as I have everything else spawn proof, they should, you know, conglomerate right here for the spawn area. But you know, I might be missing a few spots. So let's just see if we can get one to spawn right here while we're oh, there you go. Bye, buddy. I'm sorry. So I guess this is, you know, this is not the conventional way for dwarves to get iron. But, you know, lore-wise, you know, Minecraft mechanic-wise, you know, we are killing iron golems. But in lore-wise, we are grabbing the iron from the iron mine down in the Dwarven mine area. And, you know, here we're just getting rid of all the impurities in the iron. In this case, it's life, which is highly unfortunate for the iron golems, but this is for our needs. Sorry, buddy. I feel like I should probably add kind of a little space, like maybe an incinerator in this back area that's kind of blocking off this from the kind of the outside cave right here, because right now it's just gliding. You want to be cleansed, my man? Here, go in there. Oh, thanks. But behind this stream, we've got a little chest area where we've got our little iron. And we've already got half a stack, which, you know, it's not the best. Definitely, this is definitely not the best farm for, you know, iron rates. But, you know, it's enough. It's enough for us, at least. I think, you know, since I'm working in this general area for a long time, I'm going to accumulate quite a bit of iron. And, you know, I wanted to build the ENX04 iron farm, but it just wasn't really fitting in with any of the builds. So this way I can kind of make it look pretty and also have a actual purpose for this build. So we did just stick to a small iron farm. I think the rates are like 320 iron ingots per hour or so like that. But, you know, as I'm building all this stuff up, it's going to be passive iron, so passive income for us. So, you know, I think it'll kind of meet our needs. And then obviously if I want more, I could always eventually build a larger iron farm. But, you know, in the meantime, I think this fits all of our needs, especially for hoppers and all that. But next up, I want to work a little bit on the interior because I, you know, want to make this super immersive. So I think we'll add kind of a conveyor belt kind of through here where we're kind of bringing the iron in. And then maybe I'll turn this kind of into an incinerator look. That way it'll kind of match the vibe. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what I'm doing for interior. I try to make a little bit of an interior in here, and honestly, it's not that great. But I don't know. I clearly my interior game is not that good. Something that I could definitely work on, you know, to improve on. Well, right now, this is what we're kind of working with. I'm probably gonna change it up in the future, maybe kind of add a little more bits to it. But we've got two large forges right here where they'll kind of, you know, work the iron and then use the anvils. And then here we have like some conveyor belt looking thing, which I'm not sure I like it, but it does look kind of like steampunky, diesel punky, you know? So I think we're going to keep it for now. And, you know, if we need to tweak it, we'll tweak it. But I imagine they'd be kind of throw some iron over here, and then it goes into this area, which is the incinerator, which is where the iron golems are actually, you know, getting put to death. It does clash with the blue water back there, but it's just for a little more immersion. Obviously, the interior could use a little more work. I think a few more bits and bobs, probably some shelving units scattered around the area. I just need to find some spaces for the shelving units so that they don't kind of fit in spots where things might burn. So I think maybe right here would work for a shelf. And then here I just made like a little very bootleg chimney, or a very bootleg fireplace, just because I have that little fireplace area. I might just knock it down and act like the little chimney thing right here doesn't exist on the interior, and just have some shelving units right here as well, but we'll figure that later. So I realized I didn't do a fly through of the build, and so here's the front, which you did see earlier, and then on the sides of it we've got 2 smokestacks at different heights so that they can kind of affect the sight line, and then the smoke line would kind of be affected as well. And then on the side right here, it's just an attached building, very basic, just some let's see, brick, dripstone, and granite. And then on the side here as well, another building just to add some variance. We've got some tuff to kind of differ the color a little bit. This part does kind of blend in with the surroundings, so it is kind of hard, I feel like, to see that part. I feel like it kind of blends in and you might not even notice it. But yeah, so the side and the back, not really much going on for it. It doesn't really look that pretty, but if I do add some windows and whatnot to the back, because right now I'm not really looking at the back, so that's why I'm kind of leaving it like this. But once I build, you know, surrounding the area, I do want to, you know, spruce it up a little bit so that it doesn't look too bad back here. So I'm generally doing kind of like a stacked architecture, or I think it's called illegal architecture, funny enough, because a lot of the stuff doesn't make sense, you know, these random jutting parts out. I do want to have a bunch of stacked buildings like on these pillars. Well, anyways, folks, that's all the time we have for today's episode. If you enjoyed the episode, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I also made a Discord, so if you want to join that, you can kind of world build with us and kind of share your builds. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.